What is good, guys? It's Ronald, also known as Youcapper from Sportsmemo.com, at @U_Capper on Twitter. This is Let's Cap, and we have a strong panel here talking about some games. We'll break down some games. We'll get some best bets from the guys as well. We got Munaf here, Sports Nerd 824. We got Chris, obviously, Chris B. Cabin. He's been on the show a lot. Austin Wang, A Wang _ HTX, usually on the Fridays. Munaf, you're more of the newer guy here on the show, but you've been a really great addition to it. I think the last couple shows that you've been on have been pretty good. So hopefully you keep bringing the good mojo, man. How was you guys' day yesterday? Don't talk about the Seahawks, please.
I think we had a pretty good day yesterday overall. I was on the Memphis Grizzlies. I think that was pretty much done before that game even tipped off. That was an easy winner. And then we finally broke our first quarter losing streak there with my man Chris there. We took the Suns first quarter after pretty much the Clippers kind of had their B squad out there. But yesterday turned out pretty good, Ronald.
Yeah, nice. How about you, Austin?
I had one bet. It lost. I took the Bucks and Grizzlies under 226.5. Scoring 78 points, 77 points in the third quarter. Not a good recipe for a under there. I mean, yeah, looking in retrospect, should have gone with the Grizzlies. That was a slam dunk right there. But yeah, sweep the night before, so I'll tout that real quick.
Yeah, that's why we got to look at it long term, not just the day before, right? Yeah, man, I think Chris too. I think you were on the under as well, man. I think we had a good read, especially on the Buck side, right? Like not being able to put up a lot of points in this spot here. I just didn't expect the Grizzlies to put up 140 whatever they put up. That was tough. I mean, that's why I was like on Twitter. I was like, y'all need to just chill real quick. You're already winning by like 30. You don't need to keep going. How was your day yesterday, Chris?
I don't think the game script worked in our favor when it's a blowout like
Yeah,
that. They just stop playing defense and
exactly. How was your day, Chris?
It was one of those situations I see where you could tell that the Bucks defense dictated their offense. Their offense dictated their defense. You see, Chris Middleton had like the worst game of his career.
Yeah.
Shooting like over 7, and then Memphis gets those rebounds and they're just trying to go right. We knew that the one thing that wasn't in our favor yesterday when we took the under RC was the pace of play, right? Like Memphis, they do play extremely fast at home, but we were expecting the Bucks, who had the best defensive rating over the last 2 weeks on the road, to be able to come in there and kind of slow them down. So overall, RC 2-1 on official plays. I missed on that under, but I did cash on the Grizzlies. I had took them on the money line, kind of scared, and of course I didn't need to do that, right?
Yeah, so someone DM'd me. It was like, "Hey, you think the hook matters?" I was like, "Man, I think it does, dude." God damn it.
Yeah, and then I gave out CJ McCollum RC in the chalkboard last night.
Yeah,
Exclusive chalkboard play that cashed in the third quarter. So over 19.5 points cash. And then me and Munaf in the chat, we liked like you said, we liked the Suns to get off the snide yesterday. Took them early. That was pretty easy as well. First quarter -1.5, and also play on Moses Brown rebounds yesterday. He cashed all the way up to 12. So I didn't tweet that one out, but yeah, we talked about that one in the chat as well in that cash. So really pretty good day, RC, overall. Pretty good couple of days overall. I think I went 5-2 the day before. So kind of looking to keep it going today. We got a lot of games to talk about.
Yeah, let's keep it going. I think we've ever since we started having this bigger panel, it's been really profitable just because we're able to bounce off ideas of each other. Also, for those who play like volume, really it helps to hear other sides of the game, right? To really either talk you off it or and save you some money or give you more support. So yeah, I've been liking this bigger panel here. I skipped the Pelicans recap. Yeah, I know. Damn. That was a tough one to watch. I saw the last the last few minutes of that, and I was just like, yeah, that sucks. All right. Well, with that said, let's start off with a really a sort of like a roundtable type thing here. We'll go with each one of us here, talk about one of our favorite bets of the day, and then we'll go into some live capping and see if we can find some cash together here. Let's go with Munaf. Let's start with you here. What is one of your top bets, top looks for today?
Yeah, I really like that Raptors Nets first half over tonight. I think a couple things that we did talk about earlier was the Raptors defense has struggled, or I think is going to struggle until the market catches up to it without OG Anunoby in the lineup. We saw in their last game, what was it, against the Sacramento Kings, which was really alarming because I know all of us really liked the Raptors in that game and the under, but the Kings still came up there on a back-to-back night, traveling from Philly up north to Canada, and still were able to put up 120 plus points against that Toronto Raptors defense. Now you have a Brooklyn Nets team coming in with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. They have all their shooters with Seth Curry, Joe Harris in this lineup. And I think that you kind of look at the offensive rating numbers, especially for the Nets and honestly the Toronto Raptors early in those first and second quarters. They're at about 120 plus in those first two quarters. And I think that we've seen it's been a theme for the Nets that they take their foot off the gas, especially in the second half, and let teams get back in. They're not very efficient offensively. But within those first and second quarters, they are one of the better offensive efficient teams, especially over the last 10 days. So I think we'll see points here tonight. I think the Toronto Raptors will be able to knock down some three-point shots against a Brooklyn Nets defense that is not very good against defending the three-point line. I'm quickly trying to pull up the numbers here. Brooklyn allows 38% from beyond the arc, which ranks number 29 out of 30 teams. They're also giving them about 13 makes per game from beyond the arc, which ranks number 20. So my favorite look was the Raptors and the Nets first half over. I got that at about 116.5. I like that all the way up to 117.
Do you think what do you think about the first quarter specifically? It seems like, so I'm looking at the Raptors here. It seems like that's the highest combined scoring in their quarters is the first quarter. They typically start off pretty strong, especially at home. If you were looking at that again, I mean, I know you said first half, but what do you think most of the points will be coming in that first quarter?
I would think so because I think Kevin Durant plays the entire first quarter, doesn't he? Most of the time, it's like a Luka situation where I think Kyrie goes to the bench earlier, and then you have Kevin Durant that plays probably 10 to 11 minutes there for the Brooklyn Nets. But that's a look I like as well if you want to play that as first quarter versus full game because, like you mentioned, these two, especially Toronto. I know Mitch has talked about this a lot that they come out playing stronger in the first quarter as well.
Yeah, so that's why. So I like when you guys talk and break down your plays. I like to look at things in sort of that angle and to find more support there. And that's why I looked at how the Raptors do at home. Obviously, it's gonna be different a little bit because Anunoby's not playing.
Yeah,
but then that actually helps the over, right? Because he's more of a defensive minded player. I think offensively, he's really good too. He's a good addition offensively, but his offensive skill set can move to the other guys. But as far as playing defense, you can't spread that. I mean, the rest of the guys, you can't look to them to really focus in on the best best offensive player on the other team. So I think I like that. I like that look a lot, actually, especially towards that first quarter. If you look at here, like I said, that's the most that they score in the first quarter at home.
And it's a very small sample here. Quickly, with OG Anunoby in the lineup. The Toronto Raptors had a defensive rating of, I believe it was like 112, 108. No, let me filter that down to this season here real quick. With OG Anunoby in the lineup, they have a defensive rating of 112.4, and then without him, it goes all the way, I believe, to 124.1 without an OB in the lineup. So I know it's only 2 games, but I think that's still kind of makes a point that, hey, this defense is not very good without OG in the lineup.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the primary factor too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I like it. Let me go back to Killer Sports here. All right, cool. So we got you down for Raptors Nets first half over. Let's go with Chris. What do you got?
So I got a few. Austin, I know the query that you gave was for the Kings game, so I'll let you have that one. But I think we're aligned. Me and Austin aligned on the Kings tonight. RC,
perfect.
Yeah.
But let's look at the. It's a bunch of different games. I feel like we can go a lot of different ways. RC, let's go with the Blazers and the Mavs game.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, let's go with the Blazers and the Mavs game. So I think it opened last night at 3.5 in favor of the Mavs. Total was at 222, I think is what I saw there. And of course, we've seen money come in on the over. You look at these two teams kind of going in opposite directions. Even though we did say the Mavs were, pretty hot recently, They haven't
Yeah.
covered their last two games as a home favorite, but the Trailblazers, on the opposite hand, they have. They've been hot in December, all together. They're coming off the home wins, back-to-back home wins against the Minnesota Timberwolves last week. Then they go on the road. They smack the Spurs up. They're in Dallas today. So rested team, looking at this Blazers team, I see there 7-6 straight up, 11-4 against the spread on the road. But one of the things I looked at was, because we know Dame has missed some time and he's kind of come back and been in his groove. He's went over his player prop in the last 4 games, no matter home or road. They're 6-0 ATS with Dame on the road, RC. So, like I said, kind of hot right now. They've won 5 of their last 6, covered 6 in a row. 9-4 against the spread as a away dog this season. And in those games, they're 4-0 with Dame in the lineup. So a lot of things kind of point for me towards, the Portland Trailblazers to be able, especially if they're catching 4 points, to take them plus the 4 in this spot. Offensively, they're 8th rated over the last 2 weeks on the road. They're 4-0 to the over in those last 4 games, specifically because they've been going over their team total. And you look at this Mavs team, they're just 3-10, 3-10-1 against the spread as a home favorite. Like I said, failed to cover their last 2. They also have a big revenge spot that they may have circled tomorrow against the Cleveland Cavaliers when they travel to Cleveland. So, yeah, I think the defense is taking a step back. They're also without Maxi Kleber in this game. Jalen Green has also been ruled out. So yeah, I like the Blazers. I think they have more offense. I think that they can guard. And I'm not even taking them on the money line, but I do think it's a game that they probably win tonight.
Yeah, I have some support on that. Killer Sports is kind of slow right now, so I'm gonna go to Spodez real quick. So I looked at Mavs at home, right? 11-5 straight up, 10-4-2 against the spread. That's why I hate Spodez. It's like
it's backwards here.
It's backwards and shit. But you can see like the more recent home games, they haven't been able to cover those games. But one way that I looked at it was with the line specifically when they're favored. And if we sort by line here, you can see like the short lines here. They've been able to I guess cover a little bit, right? More of the covers are on the shorter lines here, but for the most part, I think when we do get comparisons on who was playing on those games, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, most of these I gotta look at it again. But when I was looking at it earlier, I believe these teams were shorthanded, and that's why the lines were short. So I think here the Blazers, they're at full strength for the most part. I think Josh Hart is on the injury report, but he's more questionable than anything.
He's probable.
Probable.
He's probable. Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant, probable. And then if we look at if they played a team that they already beat so far this season. They're 1-3 straight up, 0-4 against the spread, 4-0 to the unders, and that's going to support something that I'm going to bring up a little bit later too on this specific game is the under here. But for the most part, a lot of things are pointing me towards the Blazers as well. I know you brought up really good points with Lillard in, but even when if we just look at the Trailblazers overall.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add in the Mavericks just consistently been one of the most overrated teams in the market, as you can tell by their record against the spread. I mean, they're 11-4 as home favorites straight up, but 4-10 against the spread. Trailblazers basically the opposite, one of the underrated teams in the market, and the market still has not adjusted. I mean, I think this should be a pick 'em. Also, the Blazers, number 1 in 3-point percentage. Mavs have struggled to defend the 3. They're 22nd in opponents, 25th in opponents' 3-point percentage. I think they got a big advantage there.
Yeah, no, I like it. The other thing too, I was looking at the Blazers as dogs in general, and for the most part, these short lines are covering here. So if you look at lines, when it's 6 points, sorry, less than 6 points, dogs, they're covering and winning for the most part. So that's another thing that really supports the Blazers here. And then to Ski's point, my play, I'm just gonna go into it now because since we're on this game already. But I was looking at the under here, and one thing that that Ski mentioned and Mitch mentioned in the chat is when both teams are on the first leg of back-to-back games.
RC, while you putting that in real quick, the in this spot specifically, the Blazers, that 9-4 ATS is the best in the league as well. They're the best team to cover as away dog on the season.
As road dogs.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is one that the Mitch and Ski mentioned here. I also have this as well. Is when both teams are on the first leg of back-to-back games, 14-7 to the under. So a lot of the times, I think what's happening is they're really trying to stretch the minutes out, especially with their key players. So they want to focus. They want to make sure that their key players are able to play in the second game. And that kind of limit. Obviously, the best players typically are the better scorers there. So limiting their minutes that brings down the offensive efficiency for the most part. And then also the trends that I mentioned earlier with Dallas, or sorry, with the Blazers here as road dogs. They're also 8-5 to the under in that spot. And if you look at them in conference situations, 6-2 to the under in that spot as well. That also, if we just say first leg of back-to-back, right? But and we say just the Blazers specifically, they've been in this spot 5 times, 4-1 straight up, 4-1 against the spread, 4-1 to the under. So typically that's what we talked about earlier with them kind of slowing down the pace, and they're less efficient offensively. That is what it looks like is happening throughout the season so far. So I would say my best look today would probably be towards the under. Also, I like the fact that the total went up from open to I think the highest that I've seen was 226.5. I would probably just fade the steam in that point, because that's like almost a 5. That was a 5-point steam. So yeah, I would take the under there. We got my guy Finesse joining us here. Let's go with who didn't go yet? Austin, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Austin. All right, let's go with you.
Hold on. It's kind of hot in here. Let me take my shirt off real quick.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. CWA.
Well, shout out to my guys right here, Ski, Ronald, Jay. Gotta rock the shirt.
Love it. All right, so this is one that you told me to bring up here. Go ahead and break down this query.
Yeah. So all right. So it's back in the Kings first of all. So that, just to give everyone a heads up. So the Kings are on the tail end of a 6-game road trip, and natural intuition is going to tell you that it's going to be an unfavorable spot with fatigue. But I was playing around with the SDQL yesterday, and what this query basically says is this is basically their 6th consecutive road game. So as you can see, like the TS, that means that it's been their last 5 games have been away, and then they're an away favorite in the current game, and their opponent is off a win. And look at those results: 23-0 straight up, 20-2 against the spread. I mean, I like it. It's just a staggering results there, and I think a lot of it is just psychological. These teams are ready to go back home, and the other team's off a win, and already being in an unfavorable spot like that, but still be favorites. I think that's really telling. And then you got the Detroit Pistons, who are off a hard-fought overtime win. I think it's a letdown spot for them. So I think teams in this situation perform really well.
Yeah. So, I know Ski mentioned also fading teams off of a OT win. I think he had a query on that as well. So I think a lot of the sharp guys that I've seen so far have been on the Kings, and I like it. I haven't been able to really deep dive into this game for the most part, just because you guys brought it up so much that I feel like I didn't really have to. So I'm gonna be telling. I feel like I'm gonna be telling you guys on this Kings play. I know, like you said, it feels like a bad spot for them travel wise. But it seems like as the Pistons it's a good fade spot for the Pistons for the most part.
All right, so can I add one thing real quick while you on this one?
Sure.
I'm also on this one with Austin as well. One of the things I looked at after Austin had shared that with us, RC, was since the start of last season, teams that were road dogs, and you could put this query in as well, RC. Yeah. Teams that were road dogs in their previous game, so previous road dog in their game went to overtime. And now they're home dogs. Since the start of last season, I see.
Oh, last season, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think I said that. I meant to mention that.
Okay. 0-7, 0-5-2 ATS. Fading the Pistons there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good look too.
But look at that first quarter.
Oh damn! Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, man. I think it's a trifecta spot. I really think it's a trifecta spot. I didn't play it.
Yeah.
So fading them off of the OT. What else?
Yeah. I see one last thing to mention. I promise I'm gonna shut up. Pistons also they're the worst first quarter ATS team so far this season at home. They're 3-10 against the spread in the first quarter at home. And the Kings, when you think about how the Kings finished their last game, to come from behind win against Toronto, it only makes sense that they kind of bring that same energy into the last game of a 6-game road trip, finish off strong here before they go back home.
We found a first quarter spot here, man.
All right, so Ski dropped another query here: 7-31, 12-25-1 ATS. Home dogs against. Wait, is that opponent? Sorry. Oh, home dogs with a win percentage less than 45, coming off an OT win. Let's see if that supports the first half. Not too much on the first quarter on this one for support, but overall, fade of the Pistons here.
Look, yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to get cute with it. I mean, the Pistons are off a hard-fought OT win.
Yeah.
It's a home underdogs off an overtime win are 87 and 125 against the spread. So that's 41% in the history of the SDQL database, which dates back to 2002, 2003. You don't need to add anything to that. It's a 41%. It's a 41% ATS rate. Yeah. So it's a good fade overall.
Got you.
And so just on top of that, they've played 4 of their previous 5 games on the road. And I have some systems that show that, hey, if you're a team that play like a lot of game, like on a long road trip or a heavy road travel and they win their last game and they return home. And if they're a below average team, it's a good fade spot as well. And on the King side, they're 9-1 straight up, 7-3 against the spread as favorites. 3-1 as road favorites. They're ranked 5th in the offensive rating, and even though there've been some regression in the last couple games, I think it's a get right spot against a lousy Pistons defense. I saw 2 other advantages. They're ranked 1st in defensive rebounding percentage, while the Pistons are ranked 25th, and then the Kings are 12th in points in the paint scored versus Detroit's 28 points in the paint allowed. So just lots of metrics point to the Kings here and trends and systems. So I'll be on the Kings tonight, ready to light the beam.
Yeah, light the beam. The other thing too. All right, so we mentioned the road travel, the road streak here, or road game streak or whatever. 6th game on the road so far. The Pistons, they've actually been traveling the last 6 games as well. Yeah. Even though they've been going home, they have been only 1 game homestand, so they've been traveling right after that too. So they kind of have a bad travel spot as well. Finesse, man, it's been a while. It has been a while. Obviously we have the chalkboard page with myself, Chris, Finesse, and Ski joined recently. How you been, dude?
I've been good, bro. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen your face. Got to chop it up, so always happy to be here. Got some really smart people in here, so I'm excited to rub shoulders with you guys and love to play. I like the Kings tonight too. It's projected and slated to be a very high scoring game, so that's a game we obviously like to target for props and things like that. So when you got a total that's almost 240, somewhat of a short spread, a single digit spread, that's games I love to target. So it should be a great game. I love the Kings too. Love a couple of props in this one, but I'm happy to be here and let
us know. Well, what's one play you want to talk about and break down for the viewers here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, high scoring game, short spread. It's a guy that I've been on for most of the year. It's been a wagon. Sabonis. This is a guy averaging almost 14 potential assists over the last 5 games. In a game with the total almost 240, with the offense pretty much running, through him and through Fox. Give me his assists, sitting at 6.5. I usually like taking 6+ assists and pairing it with something else super easy, like De'Aaron Fox 1-3 or something like that. But in this case, I have no problem taking him for 7 assists and what's projected to be a very high-scoring game, like I said. So love that play. I like the Kings straight up with you guys as well. Just listening into kind of the SDQL stuff seems like a no-brainer spot. But yes, definitely love Sabonis assists, not too mad at his points either, sitting at 19.5. The guy's been playing out of his mind, absolutely out of his mind. So I'm waiting on some injuries, some lineups, stuff like that for the Pistons side. But yeah, strongest play would be really anything Sabonis tonight.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think he has a good chance to dominate the matchup tonight, especially. Didn't we see someone facing the Pistons like just grab hella rebounds recently? That now I can't think of it. There was one game recently where someone was really close to a triple double against the Pistons, if I'm not mistaken. And I wasn't. It was Plumlee. He had 12 and 18. So, but no assists. Obviously, he's not going to be the guy, the focal point of the offense that's going to be able to pass those. Pass for the assist, but Sabonis is able to do that. So, what do you think about some type of play towards that triple double with Sabonis as well? If it's going to be fast paced, then you're expecting over 6.5 assists, maybe it's close to that triple double there.
Yeah, and anytime I'm taking stuff like that, I always sprinkle things like that as just a longer shot. I believe he's coming off a 20 rebound game as well too. So
yeah,
you're gonna have guys like Stewart in there, Durant in there, who are decent rebounders, but this guy lives to rebound a ball, lives to facilitate, gets to the line a lot too, draws a lot of contact, very skilled player, very what do you call it? A lot of finesse to his game. So no pun intended. But yeah, love Sabonis. Anything Sabonis, definitely gonna sprinkle the triple double, whatever those odds are. Yeah, love Sabonis tonight. Not too mad at Bogey as well. Another, in a high scoring game, his points are ticked up, I believe, at like 22.5, I think it is. But I'm expecting a lot of points, fast pace. So props heaven this game.
yeah, fast pace, right? And then obviously the Pistons coming off a good offensive output, you would think they kind of let down a little bit, and that gives the Kings a lot more opportunity for defensive rebounds. So maybe even a look towards the ladder there for the rebounds, right? All right, so that's a good prop there. Sabonis pretty much in all ways. It looks like I think he could dominate this matchup. To be honest, it just seems like one of those spots here. Let's go into live capping. Let's see what the chat. Anyone in the chat, what games you guys want to look at? We'll try to break down as much as possible and see if we can come out with a winning play together. If no one pops in and says a game, then we'll just try to deep dive into one.
I think one more play that we should mention for the Pistons and Kings game is Killian Hayes assist. I know me and Chris have been talking about that a lot. Now that we know Cade's gone for the rest of the year. Killian Hayes is probably going to be that starting point guard for this team, and that's been something that we've been keeping an eye on, and he's been cashing over 6.5 assists. I know it took overtime in the last game for him to get there, but he should be getting 30-plus minutes here tonight or going forward for this Pistons team as a starting point guard. Also looked at his points and assists combined. That was only at 17.5. I think that he should be more involved offensively, scoring the basketball, and also dishing out as well. So he's had 8 or more assists in 3 out of the last 4 games. He's had 12, 9, 8, and 5. So that's one play I will be on tonight as well. If you want to play assist over 6.5 or points and assists combined over 17.5.
Yeah, that 5 assist game too. He only played 18 minutes, and he was able to get 6. And before that, he went above 6 in like 7 straight games, I believe is what it looks like. And all of those, and not all of those, he went over 30 minutes. So if he is able to get the plus 30 minutes or so, that might be the way to go with the assist for sure. Yeah. His points really is where it's been really inconsistent, right? There's games where he's getting over 10 shot attempts, and then in 2 of the last 3 games, he only shot 8 times or whatever. But it had to do with the minutes. So as long as we can get consistent minutes from him, maybe that's the way that we look. Is for the most part is the assist. Our Lakers Nuggets haven't seen much. All right, what's up, Vaughn? Lakers Nuggets haven't seen much about this game. All right, yeah. This one was tricky to me. I think initially I was looking towards the over just because of pace of play. Both teams really playing great offensively and then not really playing well defensively for the most part. But this is a high total. I think one of the higher totals that we've seen so far for the Lakers specifically. Did you guys have any looks on this game at all? Anyone on the panel?
Yeah.
I'll wait for Finesse and let Finesse go.
You go first, Chris.
You tell me to go. I think first half to play, RC. The Lakers can't be trusted in the second half. We know that. RC, can you hear me? I think you frozen.
Oh shit, I'm here, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, all right, good. Just making sure you can hear me. Yeah. RC, looking at this game, Lakers, one thing we know about them, and we've been talking about this, in the chat, is that you can't trust them in the second half. The offense becomes extremely stagnant. Second game back home off the East Coast trip. So they should be, have their legs a little more underneath them. We know that they lost their last game against Boston. And you saw them come out with some fatigue in that first, game kind of coming back home. Boston, smacked them up pretty bad before they started turning it around just a tad bit. Looking at this Denver team, I know me and you kind of talked about this earlier, RC. They scored a bunch of points against the Washington Wizards in that last game. So typically when they score, I think you said over 120, 125?
No, the Nuggets?
Yeah, the Nuggets specifically. When they're scoring, I think this will kind of help with the play as well. When they're scoring over, what did you put in, RC? Over 120? Over 120?
Yeah.
In the first half of the next game, they're not scoring as many points. One of the reasons why this one kind of sitting in my best lip. The Lakers, on the other hand, RC, they are the first. I think they're the number one ATS team at home in the first half. If they're not number one, they're number two. The Lakers are. So one of the things that kind of kept me off is we know Denver also plays like the Lakers, where they're typically winning at the end of the first half, and then they end up giving up the game. So nothing official for me, but that's how I was kind of looking at the game. It would be Lakers in the first half, and then probably stay off in the second half.
Yeah, the one thing that I was looking at here is Nuggets coming from home to road, so that the basically dealing with altitude and moving on the road. 3-4 straight up, 1-6 against the spread, 6-1 to the over. For the most part, the opponents are doing the scoring here. One thing that you did mention is the scoring is less in the first half than less in the first half. And so when I look at this spot here, the team total for the Lakers for the Nuggets today, I believe is 61.5 or 62.5, if I remember correctly. I was looking at it earlier because I was also looking towards the under first half, because the full total for the first half, I believe, is 123 or something, which is pretty high. So it would be more so for me the under in the first half and the over in the second half. But you bring up a good point that the Lakers struggle in the second half because they don't really have that depth that that you really want for a second half over team. And then we saw in that OT game how gassed AD and LeBron was. I know they've had a couple of days of rest from that, but do you think they get gassed here? I mean, do you still feel like they're still tired? Some fatigue?
I mean, they were out running routes yesterday, hoping I was crossing my fingers hoping AD didn't trip and fall, sprain his ankle for rest of the season or something. But something I don't necessarily agree with, being a Laker fan. But I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, if you pull it up, right, look at the Lakers and these games where it's a one possession game, you can query that. Looking at how they do in the first half versus how they do in the second half, I always feel like I'm just extremely scared, RC, if it's one word I could describe it, with playing the Lakers in the full game and then watching them kind of fumble the ball, fumble my bankroll, in the second half when the game gets close.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, Chris, I mean, I was looking at the actual stats. The Lakers are 10-3 in the first half against the spread, and that perception where you said that Denver is great in the first half. I had that same perception too, because historically they have been, but this year they are only 12-15 against the spread in the first half. So not as strong and dominant as they have in past years. So I don't have a strong take on this game. I've got one system, which is a revenge angle favoring the Nuggets, but yeah, I could definitely see the Lakers first half being a sneaky play there.
Denver's also, I think, the best in the league in road games towards the over. I think they're 11-5.
Yeah, that's the reason why I was looking at the over, but it's just a high total too. I don't
Look
know
at Lakers team total first half over.
What was that?
Lakers first half team total over.
Lakers first half team total over. So
Hey
we
Ronald,
go-
if you
yeah.
if you don't use this site, there's one called evanalytics.com.
All right.
Yeah, that's
think
the one I
that'll be a
use.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one you use. Yeah, that one's a great one. All right, now go up to NBA, up top, hit and then go to game odds.
This one?
No, game odds down at the bottom. Game odds.
Under betting stats. No, you're right there. Go back to NBA.
Yeah, go back.
The last
Oh.
line. Yeah.
Game odds.
Yeah.
So now you can see at the left-hand side, you can filter whichever split you want to see.
Yeah.
First half spread.
Nice.
You
Okay.
can sort it.
Oh, this is simple. This is
Yeah.
how simple.
I told you about this last week.
Did you?
Finesse told me about it last year.
Finesse be holding out.
Yeah, he don't want to
He
see
didn't
us
tell
win.
me. He didn't tell me, bro.
So great research. You can look at last 10, last 5, home, away. Filter however you want to. And even look at last year's stats too.
First half totals. What were we looking at? First half totals for Nuggets.
You have to hit away. Just hit that X to the right. Yeah. And then if you just want to hit over, it'll populate to like however you want to do it.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
11-5 to the over first half.
Nice.
And then we go.
And that's on the
home.
road. Atlanta's up there too. They're on the road today too.
Yes, sir. Fade him in the first half. I'm on that one, you know. Zoom in.
This
Just
is, see, this is the other reason why I was looking at that. This is the other reason why Boston over looks good. But you guys, I forgot who I was talking to. Maybe it was Chris bringing up Robert Williams, obviously coming back, how that affects the lineup. But do you think he plays heavy minutes today? To that point, the other thing too is, I feel like he doesn't play the full amount of minutes that he would normally be, and he wouldn't impact the defensive side of the ball too much as much as we really think, and probably that's why the total hasn't shifted as much as it should have. Right? That's 3 points. That is pretty much kind of a lot. I don't know. Did you guys have a look on that over under on that Boston game?
No, I think it is going to be super overstated. Obviously, the headlines are going to read Tom Lowe coming back.
Yep.
He might play under 20 minutes. I mean, it's not going to be.
Oh,
It's going to be super short spurs. So I don't think he's going to affect the game too much. It's going to be nice to have him back. I think it's a boost for the guys. But other than that, I don't think it impacts the game too much.
The other thing too, obviously he's gonna affect the defense in the paint. But Orlando, for as much length as they have, they're not. Majority of their points are not coming inside of the paint, so it almost seems like they're making it seem like it's going to be a big difference, especially with this total going down so much. But I agree with Finesse. I feel like it's overstated.
RC, can I go back to the Lakers game real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, going back to Chris's point, I couldn't believe when I saw the guy running routes, bro. That it was so crazy. But yeah, same as the Detroit game. High scoring game, short spread, props heaven. So I'm zoomed in on Russ right now, haven't exactly not 100% sure how I'm gonna attack him, but probably gonna be the assist. Again, high scoring game. He has great history versus Denver. So I'm looking at last 7 games. Versus Denver, he's averaging 22 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists in those 7 games. So great history. That goes all the way back to 2020. Yeah, this is a guy that's, again, coming off the bench, playing great off the bench. A couple of weeks ago, he was almost solely facilitating off the bench. Wasn't looking to score at all. Just looking to get his guys the ball in the right spots. He's starting to take on that scoring load a little bit more. His scoring at home is a little bit better, a little bit more consistent, which we like. But yeah, his assists in at 6.5. You get that at pretty good odds too. You get it plus money some books. I really like that. Wouldn't mind his rebounds as well. Wouldn't mind a combination of a PRA, a rebounds and assists. Also like Jokic assists sitting at 8.5. You can also get that at plus money. Obviously a tough matchup defensively. He's been really looking to facilitate the ball. He's averaging close to 14 potential assists as well. Tough matchup with AD down low. So I think he's going to do what he normally does, try to get his guys the ball. Lakers defense has been horrendous over the last 7 games, giving up the most points, bottom 10 in field goal percentage. They're limiting the 3 a little bit, but still bottom half of the league in threes given up. So I think Jokic gets his guys the ball in good spots to score. I think he gets double-digit assists, and I like Russ to get close to double-digit assists too. Game script should be there. Like I said, very high-scoring game is predicted to be, and a short spread. So I really like those 2 guys tonight.
Yeah. So when you just real quick, when you look at the high totals and the short spread, that means you're looking for games that are not going to be blowouts for the most part, right?
Yeah, that's critical right now. Every night there seems to be multiple blowouts, which absolutely kills a lot of stuff. So I've been trying to be even more selective with props because of that. Teams just are losing. We saw the Bucks lose by 40-41 last night. They were down like 50 in the game. So it can literally happen in any game. So I try to be super selective. I mean, Lakers defense is so bad. I really don't see this one being a blowout. A team might go up a bunch of points at some point during the game. But yeah, I try to look for short spreads, high totals. Means it's high scoring, should be close throughout, which should be really good for props.
Cool. Hey, there was a question in the chat here. Line is at 61.5 for both teams, first half, and then Matt Stoney. Do any of these teams score 62 points in the first half? So what I was looking at real quick was high totals for this Nuggets team on the road, and they're like right at 61.5 here on both sides. So they're averaging 61.5 in the first half, and then they're almost giving up 61.5. It's like 61.2 basically. So it's really tight on that team total for the 61.5.
I see. Real quick before you go back, can you while you're there, can you add Michael Porter Jr. in? Out.
Yeah, I see. All right, so Michael Porter Jr. out, right? That's right. 64.5, and then this one is at 61. So you're looking at Nuggets team total over?
I was just wondering if their team total dropped any without him being in those games. And looking at those games, the Pelicans play at a not extremely fast pace, but the Thunder do play at a pace that's probably similar to the Lakers. So I know that game was over a month ago, but that's something to kind of take into consideration.
Yeah, this one went into OT too.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing too, looked at the Nuggets on the road, total over 230. Looked at the Lakers. When the total is over 230. And they've been short of that 61.5 with these higher totals. 2 of these games went over because of OT, I believe. Yeah, this one was against the Lakers just the other day. Celtics the other day. This one's funky. It almost seems like there's so many things going on each side if you're looking at totals or spreads. I don't know if I'm gonna play anything on this one. I initially liked the over though. That's one thing one way that I looked. Any other plays that you guys want to talk about here?
I'll be super quick. I don't know if you guys talked about this. I like KD over 1.5 threes. Really good hit rate. Good defensive matchup. Guys are going to be clogging the paint. They got a lot of lanes, so I think he takes at least 6 or 7 threes tonight. Great history versus Toronto. I think when I looked, I think he's hitting 17 in his last 20 versus Toronto in terms of hitting 2 threes. So I think volume is going to be there. I think defensive matchup is going to be there. I think it's going to be really tough to even get into his mid range, which he likes to get to. So I think he pulls up a lot. I think he takes some open shots, and I think he knocks 2 down today.
Yeah, it looks like they give up more threes at home than they do on the road too. So that makes sense. And the Nets are rested too. Oh yeah, I think they're just gonna have a lot of opportunities to shoot from the outside. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get into the paint with the Raptors team defense at home. They've been really strong in that sense, and that's probably why they're shooting more. The opponents are shooting threes because they can't get inside. But also that Anunoby not being there too, I would have thought that he would probably be the guy to pick to defend KD. I feel like he's probably their better perimeter defender for the most part.
You talking about OG?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they just throw Scotty on him, to be honest, which is a really, really tough matchup for KD. I mean, if that even exists.
Yeah. Anything for the Knicks and Bulls? I think some of us were looking at the under in that game, right? I think it was Austin, right? Weren't you looking at the under in this one?
Yeah, no, I agreed with Punt School, Josh.
Yeah.
That he played the under, and I was looking at the splits from the last 5 games, and it looks like Thibodeau is going back to his old ways. You know, they're running pretty fast tempo. Beginning of the season, they're pushing the pace, but the last couple games they've slowed it down, emphasized on defense. So I could definitely see that happening. I could see a low-scoring game. They just played each other in an overtime game, so that familiarity with each other is there. I think there's a great case to be made for the under.
They just played back to back, right?
Yep. RC, can you run that query where it's 2 teams playing back to back, same gym, in a few days?
Yeah. And I know we talked about the over or the total earlier on the Boston Magic game, but I had a couple of systems that were favoring the Magic and some situational aspects there. Fading Boston off an overtime game, off a 6-game road trip. They're in LA. They were partying it up. Robert Williams and Al Horford back in the lineup. So I think, it's going to take some time for their chemistry to build back up, especially at the beginning. I just thought the line was a little too high at 13. I made it about 9 points. So I was I'm on the Orlando Magic tonight. I don't know what y'all thought about it.
Yeah, it seems like a high spread. Too much.
I think it's a few too many points too. Austin, just listen to you talk about it. My question that I would ask is, you mentioned taking the full game spread plus the points, but you also mentioned like the gelling of the guys, right? Because Al Horford is listed as questionable, could probably return. We know Tom Law's going to make his season debut today. So you like the full spread more than you like the first half, or?
No, that's a good point you make there. I think.
No, you made it. Austin. I was just kind of reiterating.
No, I meant, considering a first half spread, I was just looking at a full game perspective, but taking that into consideration, taking time for them to gel. Yeah, they might come out a little sluggish in the first quarter, second quarter, and may, get it together for the second half. But coming off that long road trip, coming off that overtime win, new rotation players coming back in, taking some time to gel. I think a first half spread, I might have to consider that. I think the Magic do pretty well in the first half as well. Let's see, but then again, do the Celtics. Let's see.
RC, I'm gonna hop off, man. I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Yeah. Any last words before you cut out?
No, man. I think we covered it pretty good here. I think we got some great best bets, some games that we capped together that you guys convinced me on. So hopefully it's a profitable night.
Yeah, just real quick, I want to repeat too. Raptors Nets first half over was your play, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. All right, thanks, Munaf.
All right, nice meeting you, Austin. Finesse.
Thanks, Munaf.
Love to be here, bro.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys.
All right, what was we talking about?
So the Magic are 7-4-1, 7-4 against the spread in the first half on the road. So pretty good track record there. Yeah, but Boston does well in the first half too. But no, with that angle in mind, I think a first half play is something I'm going to have to consider there, Chris.
Are we really talking about fading the Celtics right now? Is that what we're talking about?
Not on the money line.
This is the worst place to talk about fading the Celtics.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you got to do some uncomfortable things to get the W. Right?
So Magic, right, as road dogs, 111 straight up, 3-6-3 against the spread, but their average first quarter margin, they're winning. Right? Am I seeing that?
Yeah.
But when the Celtics are double-digit favorites,
they smacking
smash.
everybody.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm out. With that, I'm out.
Any other team, you'd be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I'm out. I'll pass on that one. Damn, that's tough. That's tough, but it makes sense. I mean, I think the line Magic's been playing really well, but and then the line, like Finesse said, just the line and the total, I feel like is just gonna be overstated with the comeback here from Robert Williams. Fuck, I hate big slates, bro. Like it's just so much shit to look at.
That's where I think there is an edge too. Like, if you guys had to say, do you guys think we're getting half a point more of value because Tom Lord's coming back? I think so. I don't know. I think they're giving us maybe a full point with Tom Lord coming back, and I think that's overstated.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Makes sense. I agree with the look. I just don't know if I'm gonna get there. Are the Knicks at home or they're
Knicks on the road, I believe.
They still in Chicago, I think. I see.
Did you guys have any looks on this one? I was leaning towards the under. My notes are like all over the place, so I can't even find where I was looking towards the under. But I did agree last night.
Did you run the query?
Huh?
Did you run the query? The quick revenge.
Yeah, but it didn't really say anything to.
I was thinking it'd probably be a spot for the under. I feel like the first one goes over, the next one typically goes under, right? Or no?
Well, I did.
Yeah, I know there's something like that, Chris, that I've seen before.
What is it?
I think you're on something there.
Yeah, we just saw it with Orlando and in Toronto, right? The first one went over, the second one went under.
That's the thing, like
the Knicks won that game in OT, right?
Yeah, and they covered.
Yeah, I think I shared something like that not that long ago, and
both of these games went into overtime, but I think this one went over in regulation. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't find my notes. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So we go to PO team previous and then go back to $2017. So there's a slight angle there to the under for the most part. Season equals 2022. Four and 5 to the under. So not super strong this season. But for long term, it's around 60%.
Yeah, under. I'm not seeing anything special with that angle either. But I know what you're talking about, Chris. You know, when you're facing a team for a rematch within a certain amount of time, or even a back-to-back, and the last game went over. I know I've seen some angles there that favor the under, so I'll dig into that and share in the chat.
What do you guys think about this? The previous favorite lost, and then their favorite again, they don't cover.
Oh, that they don't cover, huh?
Yeah.
That's kind of opposite of the zigzag angle theory that we see in the playoffs.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm seeing so far this season.
I can't trust the Bulls, though. Like, I can't trust the Knicks. That's why I just kind of skipped over this game. It's like it was almost in a different language. It's like,
but Knicks been playing really well lately.
They have. And I don't want to fade them. But I definitely don't want to back them, because the one time I do back them will be the time that they let me down. So I'm definitely not backing the Bulls. Like, I haven't backed the Bulls but once this year. And they took them overtime on a team total against the Oklahoma City Thunder to hit that. So
5 straight wins, 5 straight covers. And then the Bulls are pretty much the opposite, right? Oh, they covered a couple. But for the most part, a lot of L's here.
Throw away that Mavs one, RC. That was the game that the Dallas set everybody. So they
yeah.
have been terrible if you think about it.
Oh yeah, if you take this one out,
Yeah.
Five of the last 6 they lost. 5 of the last 6 they didn't cover. If we take that Mavs one out,
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe the Knicks is the way to go here. What did it open up at?
I think it came down a point. They think I think the last
Really?
spread was 4. It was 4 the other day, right? And I think this one opened at 3.5. Am I right?
Yeah, and we got Circa here, the sharpest one at -2 right now.
So it's saying take Chicago. I'm not doing that though. Best of luck.
No, it says take the Knicks.
Yeah.
Oh, take the Knicks.
Yeah, it says take the Knicks.
Oh, okay.
Shit, I might need to dive deeper into that game. And the under went down 3 points too. Then you guys got some good. You guys got it at 227.
I didn't get it.
I think Josh got it at 228.5 yesterday when he got it at open.
Yeah. Dang it. He always be getting good lines.
Yeah, I know. Australia overseas folks be getting lines really early there.
I know. All right, well. I think I'm gonna look towards you're on the Bulls? Fuck. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna be on the Knicks. Fuck it. I'm not gonna go against Ski. That he's riding hot right now. All right,
I got
well,
stuff on the Bulls to back them up. I'm not taking the Bulls, but I got some systems that are active on the Bulls. So.
Man, there's a lot. There's just way too much. I think I'm just gonna play that under and call it a day. This is way too much to look at. All right, so real quick before we cut out, we'll just go through everybody and do your final plays real quick. Finesse, what you dropped Sabonis over 6.5 assists. Anything else you want to drop?
Yeah, like Westbrook assists. He's sitting at 6.5. Joker sitting at 8.5 assists. I like that. KD over 1.5 threes. Like that. I'm waiting on a couple of lines, but with you guys on the Kings, I think it's a great spot for them.
Oh yeah.
Also like the Thunder. I'm expecting them to sit some guys. I like the Thunder tonight too as a sneaky play. I really want to get on the Blazers. I heard you guys talking about that a little bit. Really, really want to get on them. Don't know if I will, but yeah, in terms of officials, like those guys assists. Yeah, and I like the Kings with you guys.
Yo, okay. Austin, I had the Kings. Anything else?
The Kings. Yes, the Kings -5. That's and I'm going to add first quarter just because as we were going through the game and then checking out some of those stats. Yeah, I think Munaf and Chris and y'all got me on the first quarter as well. I'm going to hop on some of these props plays. What Sabonis over rebound?
I like bonus one and Westbrook. I think Mitch talked about Westbrook too earlier in the chat. Or it might have been.
And then what Hayes over assists. Yeah, I think we need to have a watch party for this Kings game somewhere. There's a lot of action on this. I like the Magic. I'm taking the Magic. I got him at +13 earlier. It looks like +12.5 now. So probably could find a 13 somewhere. And then I'm rocking with Chris on the Blazers.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go that way too. So I think I'm gonna do Kings, and then the Blazers, Mavs under, and then the Blazers. Those are the three that I like the most. That's outside of the props. All right, Chris, you had the Blazers. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, I played. So I've got the Blazers, RC +4. Also with Austin, pretty much everybody on the Kings as well. On them Kings as well. -5. Also, like I kind of talked Austin into it, so I'm gonna make it official. Give me the first quarter as well. I talked about Detroit being the worst, ATS team at home. You want to back them on the road. You want to fade them at home. So give me minus the. I think it's 2.5 in the first quarter. Give me the 2.5 in the first quarter as well. Give me the first quarter as well. Also, I didn't talk about this one, RC, but LaMelo over his 7.5 assists. He came back first game the other day, had 11 assists in that game. I'm not sure. The site doesn't have his potential assists, but I absolutely love LaMelo in this game. No DeJounte Murray on the opposite side. They're missing a bunch of guys. Atlanta's defense is terrible right now with just having Trae Young out there. So give me the over 7.5 for Trae Young assists. Probably a ladder spot. I'll probably take him all the way up to 10. Love him in this spot tonight. Extremely fast-paced game. So give me that one as well. And then we didn't talk about this one either, RC, but I'm on the Pacers team total under the 107.5 tonight as well against the Cleveland Cavaliers, which we know have the best defensive rating at home. They've held
Shit, I haven't even looked
teams.
at that one. I gotta dive deeper
Eight
into that.
straight teams, RC, they've held under their team total. So I hopped on that one as well. Give me the under 107.5 for the Pacers team total.
Yeah, we should have been probably hopping on that since we talked about it with the Kings. Remember, we did that with the Kings, and that one hit. And then I think that hit the next day too, or the next game after that. So maybe that's just something that we continue to ride with is the pace, the opponent, the road team visiting Cleveland and their team total unders. I'll dive deeper into that one too. All right, cool. And then
no Collins too. Should be great for LaMelo.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. And then mine's. I'm gonna go with Blazers Mavs. I'm probably gonna rock with you guys on some of the plays that you guys talked about. Like in the chat too, I was leaning towards those ways anyways. Last night, the Kings and then also the Knicks Bulls under. I gotta find my notes again, but why I wanted the under, but I was looking that way, and then also the Blazers there. So yeah, a lot. I think we're aligned in a lot of the things that we mentioned today. Hopefully, we all cash. With that said, that is the end of the show, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button before you bounce. Make sure you check out the links in the description as well. We have the chalkboard link is in the description. You can't see it now because I think Chris is covering it, but there's usually a banner there that you could one of those URLs or whatever. But the link's in the description as well. Make sure you just head over there. There's a lot of things being dropped over there as well. Hopefully we all get a little bit more active, myself included. I haven't posted since I lost my last one. Feel like it's been a jinx every time I post it, we're losing. But you know, with that said, hopefully you guys got a lot of information from us, a lot of plays that maybe talked you into something that helped supported you, or maybe you're on the other side, but you saw a different angle. You know what I mean? Hope that's the key part here. It's called Let's Cap because we want to win together. We want to share as much information as possible, bounce ideas off of each other. With that said, man, Fader, follow us. It's on you to make that call. It's you guys pushing that button. You guys are putting them out that you're betting, pushing the accept button. It's on you guys to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Till next time. Peace.